Welcome to She Rises Up podcast with Gema and Lara. We are multi-award winning international coaches, authors and speakers specialized in women's empowerment and conscious leadership for women. Here we want to empower, uplift and elevate you with conscious conversations aimed to unify femininity, business and consciousness.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of our podcast, She Who Rises Up. With us today, we have Gema. Hello, Gema.
Hello, Lara. Hello, everyone. Delighted to be here on our number 10. It feels very special.
Is that right? Do you know what I was thinking about checking out from a numerological perspective? What does number 10 mean? You know, it would be interesting if we were to tap into that. What do you think? And
Yes.
right there.
Yes, let's do it. Let's find out. Let's find out when we finish.
Absolutely. So hello everyone and welcome. We're excited that this is a little milestone to have 10 episodes, and it's very exciting to be here with you to give you a framework of how we're going to engage in this conversation with you. We are going to be doing things slightly different today, and what we are introducing, apart from the numerology that was an idea that I just had. But also, we would like to share what has been our greatest lessons since we saw each other 2 weeks ago, and that way it will help us, right, to move faster. I don't know about you, Gemma, but it feels as if whenever you were sharing with me your insights and things that you've learned, I automatically, the moment that it resonated with me, I automatically embraced it, and I felt that I was going faster in my development.
Mm-hmm.
And is that it? What do you think?
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I'm very conscious of that. And the reason I share those things with you and with other people that I know can understand the experiences and see beyond that is because of that, because I know it can help other people to see that we're all humans, that we're growing, and we can grow faster when we know that other people are going through the same or different situations, and how to resolve them in a more conscious way, and also to make sure that I integrate them as well, because by sharing them, you actually telling them you leave them again, and more insights come out. So many times when I was sharing them with you, new insights came through the conversation, by your questions, or through your insights as well. So it's very valuable. So we do hope that happens as well with this podcast today.
Absolutely. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be introducing some of our greatest lessons that we've learned and we have experienced over the last 2 weeks. And of course, we have our cards that we've picked for you, and that these we believe, we know actually, that these are the cards that are going to be helping you if you choose to listen to this podcast over the next 2 weeks. And we invite you to embrace this lesson and to contemplate on the essence of the cards that came through, the messages that came through. Okay, let's get started. Gemma, what has been your greatest lesson or lessons over the past 2 weeks?
The first one that comes to mind is related to one of the cards that we had been chosen for today, which is forgiveness, something relating to forgiveness. And my experience this week was to be the first one to forgive. And sometimes it's difficult when you're in a relationship, in whatever type it is, that you get into some sort of conflict, and it's not easy to be the first one that goes and asks forgiveness, because obviously you can see that the other person also has something to share, some responsibility to share for the origin of the conflict. But that letting go of that, and be the one to forgive or to ask for forgiveness, is very empowering. It's very empowering, and it's choosing the way of the heart always. And I realized that by doing that, it came from a place of unconditional love, from a position of humbleness, and from a position where I was choosing my inner peace. I'm putting myself first as well. And I thought that's really important to dig into, because we think that we forgive um, for the other person, and yeah, it is a present for them. It's a gift for the other person to hear the beautiful things you have to say, and when you ask forgiveness. But ultimately, the gift is for you, because you return to your peace of mind. You return to your heart, to the unconditional love that comes through your heart, and we go back to self-love that we've spoken to about in previous podcasts. So forgiveness is about self-love. I remember also a quote that I wrote a while ago, that forgiveness is for giving. So forgiveness is a gift, is for giving. It's a gift. It's a gift for you, and it's a gift for the other person. What happened to me is automatically allowed me to open my heart again and go back to that state that I'm normally in, which is the open heart and the unconditional love, peace and joy, that I left for a few minutes. And by forgiving, I choosing to be the first one to choose forgiveness, allow me to go back into the heart straight away. And then the other person followed. It just followed. I guess it depends on the other person consciousness whether they follow or not, but that shouldn't be our concern. The concern should be to be the first one to that someone has to be the first one. So why not be you if we are conscious of it? So being the first one to forgive, and knowing that we do that for ourselves, that it's a gift for ourselves and for the other person. And we do hope that by doing it from a place of total heart, the other person also gets it, and they transform. And the whole situation can transform if we do that, if we do the forgiveness from the heart. So that was the lesson for the week. The main realization was that someone has to be the first one to forgive. So why not be the one? Why not be the one to do it, and stop waiting for the other person to do it?
Wow. I think podcast over. This is it.
No way. No. There's so much more.
Wow. Oh, wow. The question coming to mind, and the first one that we could explore a little bit later, is why is it so hard to forgive, and why is it so hard to take that first step? So it would be interesting to explore that. Now, anything else, Gemma, that has been a big lesson for you over the last 2 weeks that you feel that our beautiful ladies will benefit from?
I think with forgiveness also come the letting go, and I think probably that answers your why. The letting go of anything that comes of blaming, of pride, of anger, is totally letting go, and is surrendering. I think forgiveness comes from this feminine energy, and the letting go and surrendering is key. So once you surrender to the beauty of your soul, choosing inner peace above everything else, then forgiveness is easy. So that was another thing, letting go of any expectations of anything. Just forget about it all. Forget about the argument that happened. My soul wants peace. So let's do it. And forgiveness kind of take you there immediately. That was another thing, the letting go.
The animal kingdom, I'm not sure if our ladies are able to listen. The animal kingdom are agreeing, Gemma. They are agreeing.
Oh, I didn't hear it, but yeah, they do. If we observe animals, that's a really good point. If we observe animals, they don't really hold any grudges against anyone, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, you can, I don't know, whatever you do to them, of course, if some people mistreat animals, they know better, and they don't get any closer to you. But they don't hold any grudges for anything. They're always there. They're always unconditionally loving, and they always come back. Even if we know pets, they miss us a lot when we leave home, and when we come back. At least my cat, she's always there at the door, welcoming, and oh my God, where have you been? If she could talk, she could say, where have you been? I've missed you all day. So there's no grudges of where have you been, and you left me alone, and you didn't leave food, whatever it is. They don't hold grudges. So there's so much that they can teach us, and the fact that they agreed, it says a lot about them.
That was their nudges to say, hey, we are teachers too, so use us in your podcast. I think there was an element of that. From my perspective, what have I learned? Okay, what have I learned? Wow, all right. What I listened to somebody saying something the other day that deeply, deeply resonated with me. And the moment that something resonates with me, it means that it's mine, right? It means that I'm learning through the other person. And this is what happens when we speak, Gemma and I. And that person was saying, again, I'm not going to get into the details, but it was saying that these days, taking a decision in relation to some aspects of what's happening in the world is actually a path. It's actually a path. And that path is a path of trust and love. And the moment that I saw that, the moment that I heard that, I'm like, this is so true. If we are in a position where we have to make a decision, whatever decision we make, whether it's the acceptable decision or the unacceptable decision, actually is a path that we have to take both from both perspective, from a place of trust and love. Now, it would be interesting to see if the perspective of love and trust is the same for both people. But having said that, yes, that resonated deeply, really deeply. And the second biggest lesson that I'm still in the middle of it, so I could not say that I have mastered it, but is already in my awareness, and I know it's a lesson that I need to fully integrate, and that is the art of non-intervention. The art of non-intervention. What do we mean by that? If we believe that we come to earth to experience certain things and that we have a soul contract that has been already agreed before incarnating to earth, then who am I to stop other people's contracts to be fulfilled because it doesn't suit me? Right now, of course, we could get into the argument that maybe there's also part of my soul contract, right? But what I have learned is that I have been in a situation where I could see somebody making a decision that, in my opinion, and knowing what I know right now, it would be so wrong, so wrong, so wrong. And despite the fact that I had shared my views and everything else, that person made the decision that they wanted to make. This is very much like saying to a smoker person, you got to stop smoking, but it's actually their decision whether they want to stop smoking or not, right? And seeing that person potentially damaging themselves, and well, from my point of view unnecessarily, but from their point of view is necessarily, right? That was something that I'm learning. And of course, you still have to love them, you still have to show up for them, you still have to respect that decision, even though it's a decision that doesn't suit you. And it's something that even was it last year when my mother was in hospital in a coma, and I was ready to let her go. I was ready to let her go, but actually it took me a while to be ready, because I realized that I did not want her to go because I wasn't ready for that myself. But if her soul contract was to go, who am I to stop that? Who am I to stop that, right? So these are the two big lessons. Yeah.
Those are such powerful insight, Lara. And I'm experiencing the same with my cat right now. She's a bit ill, and I'm going through the same experience. Who am I to stop her life, to take her to the vet and end her suffering? Am I ending her suffering or my suffering? Because I see her suffer and I suffer. I just cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot even sometimes give her the love or the care that I feel I could give her, because she's in discomfort, and if I touch her or grab her, she's more uncomfortable than she was before. So by doing that, we give love in the way people need it, not in the way we need it. And sometimes is like you said, by letting go of what we think is best, what we want, or our fears of losing someone, and we have to accept and let those contracts run in, because who are we, right? Who are we to stop that? So that's such great insight.
Absolutely.
Somehow reminds me of something that I've been going through as well, which is about intuition, or the messages that we get from above, from our heart, from
Yes.
our guides, whatever. And sometimes we want, oh, wow, yeah, my intuition says that I have to do this. And sometimes those messages for many of us, come in a way that we feel rushed into doing them at the time that we get them. They come with this sense of there is no time, but you have to do it now. You have to go somewhere now, or you have to do this now. My intuition says this, and I feel that is our responsibility. The more conscious we get, the more um, awareness we have that those messages come from different dimensions, and in those dimensions time and space don't exist, and of course there is no difference between now and future. So that's why the sense of uncertainty and rush that we get, but it's our responsibility of gods incarnated or angels on earth or whatever you're going to call what we are, humans on earth receiving messages from above, from our soul, to discern and decide, okay, I have got this message, very clear message from my intuition, from my guides, from my heart, whatever you call it, from the universe. But it is my responsibility of someone grounded on earth to manage that message and to choose according to your circumstances and the circumstances of people around you or the world, of when to follow, let's say, the orders from above. And I thought that was really important because, like I said, those messages come with a rushing feeling, and sometimes this rushing get us into situations that are not supportive, and we get into complications. So discernment and letting go of the need of obey, let's say, obey those orders immediately. We have to let it go and instead use our responsibility. And we get the message, but I'm working as a team with those um, beings who I get the message from, or with the universe, or with my heart. We are a team, and my job is to manage the time, because that message comes from a timeline where, or space, or a dimension where there's no time. I thought that was really important, and it gave me great peace to know that that's my job. I'm here working as a team with the higher beings, with the higher dimensions, and those messages that I receive, my job is to actually manage how and when to put them in place.
When you shared that insight with me a few days ago, that was like a wow moment, a wow moment. And it reminded me when a few months ago I received a very clear insight that I needed to change a flight. And I'm like, but what change a flight? Why would I want to change a flight? It's like, I already booked a flight like 2 weeks ago. Why do you want me to change it now? And at that moment of time, actually, I decided to change the flight, but I still was feeling, was like, why do I have to change the flight? And I was like a little girl thinking, I'm not fucking changing the flight, Uh, so, uh, so hearing that from you also, it's very empowering, right? To say that also, I have the last decision and the last choice.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this is not to be confused with us not using our intuition or shutting down our intuition completely, which is what we also see in the world, right? Like we're so disconnected that we decide to shut down. So it's about then knowing where that intuition is coming from you, or is that the right thing? Let me see. Let me take a moment to gather my thoughts. So is the intuition coming from you because you know what's best for you? Or is it coming from the other higher beings? Because am I expressing myself well here, Gemma? Or
Yeah, I think there are two stages in discernment for what you're saying. So first is to really check, am I really in my heart? Is this message really coming from whoever it is for you, your heart, the universe, higher beings, whatever it is you call them? And then when you have clarity that the message is clear and you check it in any way that you check it, then okay, it's coming with this rush feeling I was talking about. Then a second level of discernment: is it really, do I have to do this now? Like when in the example that you gave, Lara, with the tickets, hang on a minute, but really, do I have to do this? What are my circumstances around? Because maybe the message that I'm getting, or if it comes from whoever comes from, like I said, come from dimensions where there's no time, there's no space, but we are limited by those things. So we are best to decide, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow or the day after. I'm still going to do the message that I got with my intuition, but it's my job to decide or
Right.
to discern rather than decide when is the best time to be. And it's working as a team. So you said it's very empowering, and it is, because I feel it take the sense of slavery or victimhood from us being on earth, receiving messages and complying to those messages. We work as a team. We have the antenna, we receive the message, but then our work here on earth is to put the message in order when we feel is the right time. So that's our job. It's like the, I don't know, the general in a military mission. He received the order from above, but it's the job of the general to say, okay, we have to go to war. But right now I can't because I have a few men who are down, or it's not the right time because such and such circumstances. So it's the job of the general to decide when to comply the order from above.
Mm.
So that's our job. We are kind of the middleman
Mm.
in between working with the beings above or the universe, love, whatever you think those messages are coming from, your intuition, and 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 and, and our circumstances in the world.
Do you know what was coming to mind? It's we your mission and my mission is to support women. Basically, the ultimate purpose is to tap into their sovereignty, right? So how
Yes.
can I be sovereign on earth if I'm not sovereign, with my relationship with the other dimensions, or with the other beings? If this is something,
Yeah.
of course, that the ladies believe in, with
Yeah.
that, of course, we do believe in that, and we know it. So that was coming to my mind. If I'm a sovereign being, I'm going to be sovereign with everyone, from this dimension and other dimensions too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So this,
absolutely. And I realized that they, when I say they, again, it's the gods, the angels, our intuition, the heart, the universe, whatever we call it. They don't want us to be slaves. We are already here, and we have to do so many things that we don't want to be doing. We work as a team because the essence is the same. It's some part of our soul is ingrained on this earth as a human being, but we're not slave of anyone. We're not under orders of anyone. We're working as a team with the higher dimensions. And that's very empowering, and it's beautiful because we can serve them better by being empowered like that. And they can use us better because we are here, and we know how we work here.
mm,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so let's move on to our cards. And we have a few minutes to talk about the cards. And although we have already tapped into the cards in an indirect,
Yeah.
and the cards that we picked up for you, or that came through actually, for you, it's the card of forgiveness and transformation. Now, Gemma, what were some of the thoughts that were coming to your mind that you want to share with our beautiful ladies when it comes to forgiveness?
Thank you, Lara. Yeah, I think I spoke about forgiveness a lot at the beginning of the podcast, and I think that the mindset of transformation, it starts with forgiveness. It actually starts with gratitude and forgiveness. It's the opening of the heart, it's following the way of the heart, and then you transform, and your environment transform, and the people transform. It's inevitable. Um, I think the mindset of mm, the mindset of the person who forgives and who chooses transformation is that everyone does the best that they can, and having that mindset is very easy. Then at least it is for me, it makes it easier to forgive because you know that the other person is doing the best they can. So you got into an argument with them, they did something you didn't like, but everyone is doing the best they can, really, and we're all one at the end of the day. So why don't we become more conscious, more aware, be the first one to forgive, choose peace in our heart above everything and as our priority, and ask us a questions, what would love do? And love always gives gratitude, appreciates, and forgives, and that brings peace of mind and brings instant transformation. So that's what I thought.
What would love do? I mean, that is the big question. What would love do, right?
the biggie. Yeah.
Much. I love it, love it. Some of the things that were coming to my mind, it's when was it? A few months ago, I did a forgiveness exercise as part of a program that I attended, a coaching program, and it was stunning, stunning work. And I feel that, so I need to thank the cards because I feel that I need to revisit that.
Mhm.
Uh, um, and some of the questions that were coming to my mind is, who are you holding grudges towards? And why is it really so difficult to forgive, right? So who would you be? And this is at the back, you started that question last time, and I'm taking the essence of that question. Who would you be without it? So who would you be without, if you were
Awesome.
not to do that, right?
Mhm.
So is not forgiveness, or is holding on to the grudges giving me something? Is it the energy? Is it feeding me? And what is it exactly feeding? What is
Mhm.
it exactly feeding? Is again, it's something for you
Mhm.
to reflect on if you resonate with that, with this question. And what else do I have here? Let's see what else came through. Um, and yes, it's the fact that forgiveness could create this harmony, and it's for sure a medicine. You've said it so beautiful, gratitude and forgiveness. These two combined are incredibly powerful. And again, forgiveness towards others is amazing, but also I need to forgive myself. So what do you need to forgive yourself about? So we would suggest write down everything that you need to forgive yourself about, and let's start that healing journey, right? A healing, actually, transformation, it's when we start forgiving, right? Otherwise, I'm not forgiving because I'm accepting the wrongdoing of somebody else. It's because I'm ready to let go of the energy. So if I'm holding the energy to, when I release that, how would that help me altogether? How would that improve my life altogether? What else am I inviting when I'm letting go of these grudges and this yeah, the non-forgiving? I mean, if there are words, so this is a question I have for you actually, Gemma. What words would you associate with the word forgiveness?
Mm. I think you said it beautifully, and it's actually self-love, because we do it for ourselves. I think I mentioned something at the beginning of the podcast, but when we forgive, we think we do it for the other person, and then, oh, but I'm not going to forgive them because they did that to me. But it's not true. We don't do it for the other person. The other person doesn't need forgiveness. How many people hold grudges for years and years towards someone who maybe are already dead? So they're allowing the other person to hurt them even after they are dead, and maybe they didn't even know they did some hurting to the other person. So the forgiveness is for us, it's for you, it's for you. So that was beautifully said, and it leads to transformation of the self. That's what it does. I feel that human nature itself, we were talking about animals earlier, is forgiving, is forgiving, is forgiving. Nature gives all the time. Nature is forgiving. It gives and gives. So who are we? Who are we to not forgive? If forgiving is an act of self-love,
Who are,
who are we to not forgive? Is forgiving is an act of self-love.
who are
It um, is a sacrilege against our heart not to forgive. It's a sacrilege.
we were talking about sovereignty earlier on, and it's well, to be sovereign,
Mhm.
if that is the goal. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the right word to say, if this is being sovereign is a goal rather than it's a path, I guess, right? It's a decision that we want to make, and it's a healing journey, right? So
Yeah.
of course, forgiveness, it's
Yeah.
one of the key steps, in fact, or the first few an important action actually to take.
Yeah. It's very important. It immediately opens the heart. It leads to inner transformation immediately. And like you said, it's greatly healing for you, for the other person as well, but mainly for you.
Wow. And just like that, we're coming to the end of our podcast today. Ladies, we really hope you loved it, enjoyed it. You took, you had some insights and took some notes. And everything, by the way, when we invite you to take notes, it needs to resonate with you, right? Don't take notes because we said so or because we shared it. Maybe at the back of this, you get a greater insight that is relevant for you. So you know what's best for you. And we hope that, if anything, we have triggered some beautiful thoughts and some beautiful emotions. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Lara. Bye-bye.
That's all for today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining our conversation, and we truly hope you loved it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to our podcast and also share it with other fabulous ladies so they could benefit from it too. If you want to get in touch, you could find us on all major social media platforms. Speak to you very soon.